Yeah, I guess we're live now. Hello, how how are you doing? I'm not playing computer games. I'm streaming in YouTube. So setting up my live stream. So here we are. I can't edit this because I'm not able to submit scores of others. So first thing we do is to save this response to a variable or variables. So we have here activity details. Can submit others, student score. Well, the goal is if the student already has score, he no longer has to be able to submit scores. So we will do that. But since his score is null, so we still able to add add his score. So subject students, when he is able to submit a score for his classmates. So this is the students. This list here, this array here are his classmates, to which he will be able to add scores. Just so if his classmates don't have the mobile app or the internet connection, so the teacher can assign some students to submit scores of their classmates. And to continue with this, uh, first we'll save this response, API response, REST HTTP response to a variable here in our front end. So see, this is our front end. Let's say can submit others. So we have here a variable called can submit others ref false by default. And then here is the response. So uh, can submit others will be the response. If you use Axios, uh, the response body is contained in the that data property of the response. So rest that data, that student score. I mean that can submit others here. That will be it. And his score will be here. Null at first. That my score. That no. Why doesn't he have the dot value annotation? It's also ref. Maybe we'll have a semicolon here. Rest that data that student score. Let's see. I declare this already somewhere. My score equals ref null. Just wondering why my score, but can submit others. It has that value. Oh, hmm. Maybe if I put null there, doesn't work. Uh, my score. I see. I see. So this is probably because of the TypeScript, generics. So they don't have generics for nulls. So the that value doesn't work right out of the box because my score is null. So that value doesn't work right out of the box. Oh, that's fine. Student score. What else do we have here? The activity, of course. Why be so much of that activity? What we have to do here is this image here. We choose files, add attachment, we choose again. He must be able to upload this to our backend. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that now. So here in our backend, here in our backend, say public function action store score. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do it this way. Mhm. Um, Here we're gonna use this file model upload form. So in Yii, upload form. So Yii has this upload form in the models. Yii2. Let's just find uh, upload form here. Actually, this came from the docs. So it will have image files, an array of images. So it expects files. It will save it in the uploads if it is valid and it has upload multiple. So in our case, file model, he does it upload multiple. Okay, I'm just gonna save it in the uploads directory. So we'll do the same. We'll do the same. So first he declares the file model. We'll just and in the payload, of course, we're gonna get the payload. This is from the front end. So the file model, it has a property image files here. Image files, so that's its property. and oh, let's import this. Maybe if I do this here, get instance by name, images. Did we do it right? Get instances by name. So get instances by name. This will return an array of uploaded file. So there we have it. We now have images in the file model. Next we do is to store the score in gr student scores table. So again, I'm using SQL Yog for my MariaDB database. So instead of viewing the database in the browser, I have a separate application. This is a free version of SQL Yog. So gr student scores. So we'll have here uh, score, right? It will be you know, gr student score. So uh, score. Oh no, we'll create a transaction for this. So to create a transaction here, you just declare db begin transaction. So its isolation methods are already predefined for you, but if you want to modify it, you can set the isolation level here. If you want to modify the default built-in transaction of Yii, you can do so, but in our use case here, this is enough. So student scores, and then the payload. So we're gonna parse the payload to the properties of the score model. So here we have student ID. So the student ID will be, we'll get it from the payload, of course. Payload, let's say student ID. We'll have that. Score. Score will be payload score. Score activity ID will be activity ID. So there's that. Maybe we'll modify this, because our payload, as you can see in our front end, it is wrapped in an object of score data. So we'll find a way for this to parse in the back end. For the meantime, this will work. Score activity ID, image proof. So we'll not fill in the image proof. For now, it will just be null because we created a separate table for that. Created and updated that their auto field. So, by the way, let's save this all in a try catch. right? Just beautify the code. If it renders an error, say, let's change the status code of the response to 400, and then let's return the error status. But this is just me, You can have your a response message as you wish, so long as you don't return a 200 status code if it's an error. So if it's an error, you define a HTTP status code response that signifies an error response. So in our case, it's 400. That's my go-to response for errors. And let's just say th the thrown message, the thrown error I see. I mean, get message. So that will be it. And so before we response, before we return, we must try to roll back the transaction, but there's no error. There was no error. Just read correctly. So this is the beauty of Yii2. This is the beauty of PHP, in general, because you can access in the catch block everything you have declared in the try block function. So, because usually in other language, in the catch block, you don't have access to the variables which are declared here in the try block. So if you want to roll back the transaction here, you must declare it outside the try block here. Let's say here. That's how you do it. But that's the beauty in PHP, because you can just do it inside the try block, the declaration, and still the catch block still has access to it. So that's one way to go about it. So if score, say save. However, if it's not saved, so save is Yii2's way in saving the database. So if you hover here, it says saves the record, uh, calls insert when new record, or update when this new record is false. So that's how it works. This is the beauty if you use ORM. So by the way, Yii2 uses active record for ORM. They call it active record. You can search it in their docs. This is Yii2. So if it's not saved, we roll back the transaction, and then let's change the response. Again, return bad status and a message. So Yii2 has the get errors. Nope, errors. Maybe that. So this is the errors. It's an array of errors. So that's fine. We can work on that. So let's go beyond if it's good. If score can be saved, then let's store the attachment directory also. So let's just copy here. Let's just see how it's being done. Here, let's just loop through those files for each. Now we have a beautiful for each here in VS Code. Yeah, it will do that for us. So file model, what does it have? File, image files. Oh, yeah, the property image files. We have access to it. Since these files here, we have access to that. Image files. So it has key value pair, but let's just store it as file. Let's not destructure it to a key value pair, but just as an entire row of data. We'll call it file. Because it's easier that way. Oh, attachment. Let's say attachment be equal to new gr student scores attachment. So attachment, what we have here. Let's see the database. Gr score. Student scores attachment. I'm sorry. Student scores attachment. So in naming your database, it's better to be named plurally, because it will be a set of records. Don't be like this. Name it in plural form. It's not required, but I highly advise and suggest to do it that way. So here we have a directory. I don't know. Maybe we'll just say uploads. And how do they do it? File that base name, that file extension. On that file. Oof. Wait a minute. So they hate double quotes when appending to dot. So let's use single quotes. Upload. Oh, that file. Name. Is it name? Sorry, base name. Base name. Uh, oh, so it has a space now. Yeah, no, it's still wrong. Why? Oh, I see. It will be directory. Uploads file name. File extension. So that will be its directory. Attachment submitted by. So you have the access of the user who who processed this, who submitted this. Identity ID. Owner, attachment owner, it will be here, student. This owner of the score. Attachment name will be this one. That one. And I don't know. FK activity ID will be this one. No, man, this is wrong. Let's just edit this one because this must not be linked to the activity, but must be linked to the score. I guess we will rename this to FK score ID, to the score, not to the activity. Yeah, that one. Save. Oops. Yes. So GR student scores. ID big int 20 unsigned. Oh, uh, maybe this needed. That isn't needed. I got a foreign key. Scannable zombies. All right. Let's do it again. Not you. It's the attachment that I'm concerned with. It will be FK score ID. To the scores. Not needed in a foreign key. Blah blah blah. Let's delete that for a moment. I don't know. Needed in a foreign key constraint. Maybe here in the activities. Maybe we must also delete it here. Okay, rule created by. No, it's not. I see. Just delete this. Yeah. And then save. After that, let's add FK score ID of type big int 20. Will not be null, it will be unsigned. And also here. primary submitted by owner primary FK score ID. Score ID, it will be from score. Yeah, now we've got it working. If we run this again, we'll have a relationship to FK score ID. It will be score ID. Let's just replace it here. FK score ID. And get FK score GR student scores class FK, what do we call that, score ID. Yeah, got all covered now. So again, this created and updated that, probably out of field. So if not, attachment save will return an error. Status bad, and the message will be attachment and its errors if